Shoes with human blood in them, and they sell out in less than a minute. Welcome to 2021. Just last week, we spoke about the Islamic State and what looks like a resurgence of their ideas in camps across Syria. We shared the story of a young woman who was forced by her radicalized mother at the age of 11 to marry a 24-year-old man and subsequently ended up being shot and left with 4 bullets in her stomach and 4 in her leg as a result of an attack. Well, just last week, it was reported that the Islamic State had claimed responsibility for an attack on the northern region of Mozambique in the town of Palma, leaving a dozen killed, thousands displaced, and some who remain missing. The town of Palma is located on the border with Tanzania, and it is on this very border that tensions have continued to rise between those living in these regions and a growing Islamist group linked to the Islamic State. The area in which they attacked is an area directly opposite gas projects worth $60 billion, with attacks that continued across the span of at least 3 days. According to the Islamic State via their Amaq news agency, they have claimed that their fighters had taken control of the town after days of clashes between them and various security forces deployed in an attempt to calm the conflict. According to the Islamic terrorist group, they had claimed to have killed at least 55 people, including soldiers, as well as taking control of buildings such as banks and factories. There has been little to no communication with those in the territory, making it very difficult for officials to know exactly what the number of those dead or missing is, and making it difficult to officially know who they are dealing with. While officials continue to regain control of the region, people continue to search for their missing family, friends, relatives, some using the media platforms who have gone to these very regions to cover the story as a way to attempt to find them. This, however, is not new news. The very resurgence has meant that over 2,500 people have died, while 700,000 people have been displaced since the conflict began in 2017. There are a number of rescue missions taking place to try and help those caught in the crossfire of something that seems to have deep roots in continued poverty and a lack of jobs and opportunities. Mozambique, we will, of course, continue to pray for you, your nation, and every single individual who has, of course, been impacted by this very incident. In 2017, many of us probably sang along to a song by the name of Old Town Road by Lil Nas X. The song went completely viral and launched this fairly new and unknown artist into fame and stardom. Just this past week, Lil Nas X released a new line of trainers, the Satan trainers, as he calls them, that was said to contain a drop of human blood. Alongside this, he also released a brand new song by the name of Mentoro, Call Me By Your Name, a music video that I haven't watched because, in all honesty, I refuse to even add to this demonic, satanic rubbish that is now being plastered in front of the world, and most importantly, in front of our children. And yes, I say our children because Lil Nas X knew exactly how he hooked children into his song Old Town Road, and now acts as though he doesn't know who his audience is. Now, from the clips that I have seen, because of course people have been posting them online and conversations and debates have also been taking place online, I essentially got the gist. All in all, it was Lil Nas X sliding down a pole into hell and proceeding to give the devil a lap dance. Now, since the video was released, it seems like people, and not just those from religious groups, had felt like he had gone way too far. So far, there were calls to even boycott Nike altogether. Now, according to reports, Nike are now suing Lil Nas X as they release a statement saying that they in fact had absolutely nothing to do with the trainer and did not have any form of personal relationship with Lil Nas X. Now, while of course I did take a little bit of a step back and had to have a yeah right moment, asking how on earth is it that you turn around and say that you don't know this individual and yet he creates a trainer from your company company labeled with your brand. Well, it was later found out that the company manufacturer was in fact a company by the name of MSCHF, who bear the famous swoosh emblem, were actually the ones who manufactured these new Satan shoes. Nike have also since made it clear that they do not want anything to do with MSCHF and have asked them to stop selling the shoes altogether. However, despite these concerns, it seems like there were some people who indeed still wanted them. According to XXL magazine, the trainers sold out in less than a minute when they went up for a whopping $1,018. A very specific number, you might be thinking. Well, yes, this reflects the Bible verse that Lil Nas X had the audacity to then go and add on the side of the trainers, which is Luke 10 verse 18, which essentially talks about Satan's fall from heaven. However, it can't be denied that the shock and outrage was one that most people did in fact share. People in general were stunned to see something so openly demonic being promoted as the new cool, or as Lil Nas X would express, as being artistic expression. The excuse everyone uses these days to basically say, don't hold me accountable because I am free and can choose to express my art however I please, even if it means promoting sex, drugs, alcohol, and now Satan as being the new cool thing. Now, while I am not someone that likes to talk about agendas and conspiracy theories, let me be very, very clear on this occasion. This is 110% an agenda to do something, many things, including these things right here. Number one, to desensitize the masses, especially children. We know that the more we look, the more we are exposed to high levels of violence, pornography, and the abuse of things like drugs, alcohol, especially in music videos, and what could be called popular culture. And the more we see it, the more it becomes normalized. And when something becomes normal, we do not respond, or at least we act like we shouldn't respond. Now, let me make something very, very clear. You might not believe it, even you sitting and watching this right now, but there are demonic and satanic things happening all around us. Wake up and smell the coffee, as people would say. This is neither cool or normal. Number two, to control culture and what that means today. Whether we like it or not, media and entertainment dictates culture. Hence why there have been so many conversations about the impact of music genres like drill, grime, even heavy metal, and what they do to people mentally and emotionally. Our ideas, our thoughts, sometimes even our beliefs, unless truly grounded, are formed based on what we see and experience, especially online. Hence why there have also been so many connections put between declining mental health and social media. That is why people are constantly talking about representation, because we know that what we see in films and on stages speaks to how people, and again, especially children, see and depict themselves. And last but certainly not least, children's perception of reality. We are in a time right now where children can't even be children anymore. Their innocence is constantly being attacked, whether that be a potential move to trans age, whatever that even means, to children being exposed to so much because of social media. And the younger you start, the easier it becomes to mold them and their thoughts and perceptions. Now, I say this to everybody else in general, whether it be parents or those that are like myself who have younger siblings. Don't wait for anybody else, especially not in this world, to teach your children, your siblings, your relatives anything. If there was ever a time to be present, it is now. Ask your children, your family members, your relatives, not in an accusatory way, but ask them what they're getting up to. Ask them what they're interested in and invest in what they are doing. Because this world will tell your children, our future leaders, our teachers, writers, entrepreneurs, even our musicians, and so much more, that things like this are normal and are okay. Now let's call a spade a spade. We're in a time where people are saying that bad is good and good is bad. And for anyone that reads their Bible, you would know that this is nothing new. And this will all be under the compass of freedom of speech or expression. But no, let me make something very, very clear today. It is downright demonic. If there was ever a time for us to educate the next generation, to help them understand their value outside of trends and things that go up online, if there was ever a time for us to finally wake up, it would indeed be now. Satan's shoes are selling out in less than a minute. Let's not play games right here, and let's stop hiding from the reality of where we are headed. So I will say this again. Stand in position and shine, because while darkness can never shut out light, light can most certainly penetrate and conquer darkness. And with that, I'd like to thank you for tuning into Watchman News. Don't forget, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And of course, hit the bell button so you're notified every single time we post a brand new video. And of course, please do make sure you leave a comment below. As I always say, this is never a monologue. This is always a conversation. I'll see you again next time. Take care.